Welcome to your recap of your pamper session. I'm Missy MacKintosh, the founder of MisMacK. I just want to say thank you so much for coming in and supporting my small business. I hope you loved your pampering session as much as we loved pampering you. Now, I know that it is a lot of information in a very short amount of time, and it can be very overwhelming. So have no fear, MisMacK is here. I'm gonna help you, and I'm going to recap this pampering session and the steps for you. I'm also gonna go into a little bit of detail as well. So it's gonna be a bit of a longer video. You can always fast forward to the part that you're struggling with, or please reach out to us if you're having a bit of a stuck moment, or you're like, I just can't get it. You can welcome to book in another pampering session. You can do more than one. And then after this, the next step is a mini makeup lesson, and that's where we're guiding you as you're doing it yourself. It is so empowering to have the tools and the education to go hand in hand when you're navigating, especially a new system and a new makeup routine. So let's get started. Step one, we are going to take our cleansing balm and we're gonna prep our skin. So this guy, again, is your eye makeup remover as well. Everything at MisMacK is multi-use, meaning everything isn't just one thing. So this guy also doubles as your eye makeup remover. So how you're gonna work it is you're gonna apply a pea-sized amount to your skin, or sorry, to your fingers. You're gonna get it wet. When you're at home, you're gonna go right under your sink, and you're gonna start on your eyes if you have eye makeup on, so at the end of the day, and you're gonna massage this in. So packed with amazing, amazing, nourishing plant-based ingredients for your skin. It's not gonna strip your pH level, so you don't need a toner with MisMacK. So, and less is more. You can always add, you can't take away. So we're gonna massage it in. If you have eye makeup on, you're gonna make a mess, massage it in, and then make sure that you wipe the day away. We're not just gonna splash it off, we're gonna wipe it away. So I always like to say, think of your windows, all the elements, the dirt, debris, just from in the air. So if you're not wearing makeup, it's like brushing your teeth. Getting into that routine and that self-care is so important. And we all look forward to washing our face at night because this feels so freaking good. So wiping it away, using a wet washcloth. Now, a little trick I have been finding, I'm having obviously hormonal breakouts. The other thing that I've been having is, it's where your oil starts to act up, and it kind of feels like a little forest on your chin. I don't know if you've ever experienced that. They're not blackheads, but there's a word for it. I can't pronounce it. But if you're finding that, massage your skin for about 3 minutes, especially over that area. Take your washcloth, get it wet with hot water, and lie it onto your face. Let that steam open up your pores, and then wipe it away. I've been having a huge success with that, with removing blackheads, extra oil production. It's been a great tip. So the other thing that you can use with our cleansing balm is you can use it as a mask. So after you cleanse with it, wipe it away, allow your skin to dry, apply a pea-sized amount, not wet. You're gonna get it all nice and emulsified into your fingers and apply it like a mask and sleep with it on. It's amazing. The other thing we've had a lot of clients do is if they have psoriasis or any dry patches, you can use it as a ointment. Okay, step one done. Step two, nourishing skin oil. You know, you've experienced this. This is our #1 seller here at MisMacK in our skincare. It rivals our mascara. These two are the top SKUs. Reason why is our nourishing skin oil is a little jar of gold. So it's a jojoba oil base with sea buckthorn, evening primrose. So really amazing for cystic acne, hormonal acne. It's an antioxidant. The other thing in it is castor oil. So if you massage this into your lashes at night, it'll help your lashes grow. Morning though, you wanna avoid your eye area, okay? Because if you have mascara on or anything with an oil, it's gonna wanna move on you. So nighttime only, morning, try to avoid the eye area. The other thing that is in it is plant-based squalene. So plant-based squalene penetrates the skin at a cellular level, gives you a boost of collagen deep within. It also heals deep within. So that's why A little bit about how we got our skincare. It was actually demanded by our MisMackers because everyone was seeing such amazing skin improvements from our foundation. And imagine if we had our proprietary ingredient in skincare. So found my amazing skincare manufacturer here in Salmon Arm in this very spot, which we're so excited to have her be moving back to the shoe shop area this fall, so we can be locally made right back here. So the other one is that we make our own rosehip. So rosehip is marinated for 30 days to bring out the really powerful benefits of rosehip. So rosehip is an amazing antioxidant. It has anti-aging benefits. It has healing benefits. It's really amazing for the skin, but not all rosehip is made the same. So the way that we extract it and we marinate it for 30 days makes it incredibly potent. And then our proprietary ingredient, and that's what's in everything. So our proprietary ingredient is derived from the fatty acids of coconut oil. It's not an oil itself, it goes into the science behind it. So I know everyone, I find once you say coconut oil or derived from the fatty acids of coconut oil, you instantly go into an oil base. It's not. So our proprietary ingredient, when I was building MisMacK, what I was finding is the reason why natural skincare, or especially makeup and foundations, were not holding up to my professional standards is because there's an ingredient out there called silicone, dimethicone. It's what's in everything. It gives you that slip and that grip, but it's like putting plastic onto your skin. It's kind of what gives you that heavy feeling when you're wearing a foundation, especially once we hit a particular age. It accentuates everything. However, what I was finding with natural makeup, especially in 2016, it was separating on the skin and not giving me that performance. So when I was building MisMacK, we found this ingredient, we snafu'd it up, and it actually took me 1.5 years to formulate our foundation with only 9 ingredients. And now that ingredient is packed in all of our amazing skincare, basically everything except for our art shadows and our mascara. It's in everything else. So next step, now that we have that oil on, we're gonna go in the morning with our whipped moisturizer. So our whipped moisturizer has a very whippy texture. It's light and fluffy. It has that zinc and titanium oxide for a natural sun repellent. But I don't know if you've ever had zinc or titanium oxide on your skin. It's usually very thick and very heavy. I don't like the feeling of sun protection myself, so when we formulated this, it was such a win because it's really light. It is a little finicky fella, especially in the winter. So it is the one product that I do not recommend stocking up on and keeping it on your shelf unopened. She needs to be made and then used right away. So with MisMacK being small batched, that is the beauty of us, is that you always know that it's fresh. And if you're a MisMacker, you know our skincare is our best sellers, and we do get back ordered quite fast. So whipped moisturizer, it can eventually have a bit of a Play-Doh smell. This is perfectly normal. It is the zinc and the titanium oxide. So that is a normal scent. Now this one is a bit of a grippy, so it really acts as a great primer. The other one too is that our oils act as our foundation primer for our foundation, because technically it's oil free. So you want to make sure if you have the foundation and you had your pampering session and you're like, ooh, I'm just gonna get the foundation and the blur, I'm not too sure about the oils, and you're not seeing it perform the same way or sitting on top of the skin the same way, that's why. So our oil, you can give you a little sample, or you can go online and purchase a free sample pack. You only have to pay shipping, and we will actually give you a little oil to try. In fact, you also get your recipe card. So now that we have our skincare done during every pamper session, you get one of these. Because it is a lot of information, I totally understand. So I wanna make sure that you have as much help as you can at home. This is why I have YouTube as well, to make sure that I can assist you from the comfort of your bathroom, your bedroom, or wherever you might be. So recapping this guy, it's gonna explain how to use our cleansing balm, explain how to use the oil. Think of our moisturizers as toppers to our skincare. So we have the whipped moisturizer with the Sunday, so it has the bronze label for the morning. Then we have a black moisturizer that has a black label. So that one, think of it for night. So we have a lot of MisMackers, especially in Alberta, that love it. I actually love it in the summer when I do my body glow oil on my face with that moisturizer over top. So there's ways you can mix and match and whatever works best for you. Next, we're gonna go into our Depuff and Prime Eye Gel. Now, I do have a new one here, so you can see how we get this rolling on our very first use. So you're gonna take the little sticker off. You're gonna whip it like ketchup until you see the product come down. Go like this into the back of your hand. Once that product comes down on the ball, you're good to go. Now, I know this is quite a bit. I'm actually gonna use my finger. I'm gonna go on the top of my lid and underneath. So this guy has natural hibiscus, which is like nature's Botox. It also has natural caffeine extract, which really helps to depuff the eye. We've seen magic happen in our chairs where instantly this tightens underneath the eye. It helps to depuff, it's crazy. The other thing is that our eyeshadow primer. Eyeshadow primer is so important because we move our eyes and it heats up and that's when creasing happens. So this guy, we're gonna have it, we're gonna let it dwell down, and then it is our eyeshadow primer. Now, if you've had Jessica Ray do your pamper session, she's gonna tell you how much she loves this as well, and same with Katie. It is also our mixing medium for our glitter. If you're wanting to do a transfer-proof glitter liner, you can do a transfer-proof colored liner with any of our art shadows, as well as a transfer-proof lip stain or lip liner. This little guy, so you wanna think anytime you're not wanting anything to move and you want pigment, this is your mixing medium. So it really is a multifunctional product. All right, now that we have our skin on, I am going to go get our foundation. Foundation. My most pride product here at MisMacK in terms of formulation, because it took me a year and a half to formulate with my chemist with only 9 ingredients. And it really is the best foundation for perimenopausal skin and up. So it's not gonna sit on the skin, it's not gonna emphasize texture on the skin. It's amazing and it doesn't feel like you're wearing anything. So think of it as you can do a light medium or you can build it up to a full coverage. You can also thin it out like a CC cream. So you can take a drop of your oil, moisturizer, or body glow and then squeeze a little bit of foundation next to it and then apply it with your fingers. But for foundation wise, I am gonna use a brush. It's best to use a brush. Recap on the whys, okay? Why we prefer a brush over a beauty blender or our fingers. So our fingers, when we apply, it sits it on top of the skin. We don't get an even distribution. The other thing too is that we're transferring bacteria from our fingers to our face. We don't want that. Going into a beauty blender, same thing. It actually just pushes the product on top of the skin. It's also a haven for bacteria. We do not want that. A brush, like our foundation brush, which is our #1 seller here at MisMacK. And to recap, all of our brushes are labeled so you know which is which. This is nice and soft, yet dense at the same time. So it's gonna push that product into the skin so it can marinate with that skincare and look like a second skin. It's also much faster. So how we're gonna do this, you wanna shake it up and you're gonna mix it up. When I say shake, I actually mean like mix it up like this. You're gonna apply a little bit to the back of your hand, like so. Now, I'm just gonna grab a mirror here. Okay. So, brush. We're going to have that product on the back of our hand. We're gonna take the tip of the brush, we're gonna pull it down and then load the center with whatever is left over. Less is more with MisMacK, okay? You can always add, you can't take away. Now, your first touch point is always gonna be your darkest, so it's really important to get into the habit. Okay, starting in the apple of the cheek, you wanna push into the skin, finishing in a downward motion. Now, I am currently just switched, literally right now, to an MM7. I change foundation shades 3 times in a year. So I just went from a 5 to a 7, it's like the end of July. I will go back to a 5 in early September, and I will go to a full 4 come December. So, and then it is perfectly normal. Your undertones can change, or you could be like Jessica Ray and Katie, where you're one color throughout the year. Perfectly normal. So again, recapping, starting in the apple of the cheek, pushing in, finishing in a downward motion, so we flatten all of our little hairs. We want most of the coverage in that apple, blending down and then out. So you can see. Whipped water-based technology. So again, apple of the cheeks. I am gonna have to reload here onto the back of my hand. Now the beautiful thing when it's yours, if you pick up too much, you can actually scoop it back up into that hole and we don't have to, and we're not wasting. So You can apply thin layers, that is best, and then build it up from there. So if you want a fuller coverage, apply more layers. Now there is a point when you push too far and it can look cakey, right? Just with anything else. I personally prefer about 3 layers. That's my particular cutoff. And then it is also our concealer. So if you have little problemed areas, you can go and you can do what's called stippling. So that's when you're building it up and you're patting it into the skin to fully cover that area. Compared to concealers, where concealer can actually sometimes make the area look worse and looks like you're trying to cover it up, or if you're building up pigment from your foundation, it actually works better. And then we can go into color correcting, which we will save for a different YouTube video. Okay. Now, depending on your pampering session and depending on your particular skin tone as well as the darkness around the eye, there are 2 options for our under eye brightener. We have the OG way, which is on the card on the back here. Okay, it explains your foundation just to recap. And then it's gonna go into the OG way of making our under eye brightener. Now, there is a reason why we don't have concealers at MisMacK. Never to say never. However, the reason why is because we are multi-use. So we can take anything, any of our art shadows and our Gaia gloss and mix it with our foundation to create a color corrector. So color corrector is when we neutralize compared to covering. So you want to think of the color wheel, right? The opposite of orange is blue, and we need those 2 over top of each other to neutralize it out. So when we always have blue in here, and this, as we mature, definitely gets a bit more intense as we gain wisdom. Perfectly normal and perfectly natural. Now, what happens though is mainstream products on the market can emphasize texture underneath there. We don't want that. That's why we have the magic of MisMacK. So I'm going to show you both ways. One on one eye, one on the other. So depending on your pamper session, you can skip to which one was best fit you. So starting with the OG, we are going to take whatever's left over with our foundation on the back of our hand. We're going to take a dollop of our Gaia gloss. So multifunctional mixing medium. This is our very first product that I launched. And then we're going to take our concealer brush and we're going to dip it into Radiant. So Radiant is that terracotta color. You dedicate a quarter and go 1, 2. Activate it into your Gaia gloss. And then we're going to mix all of that into our foundation. And what we're looking for, actually gotta add a little bit more Radiant, is we're looking for a peachy tone that's about 1.5 shade peachier than what your foundation shade is. Again, remember, less is more. We're not looking for an intense, it's just a shade peachier. So Gaia Gloss has a jojoba oil and argan oil in it, so it's really amazing and really nourishing for that delicate under eye. So where we're gonna start? We're gonna start right into that inner corner of the eye, right at the bridge of the nose, blend down, stopping at the iris. Now you want quite a bit of product on here. Okay, you wanna see the stripe. You don't want it to be translucent, you wanna see that foundation, okay? Then either with your finger, which I usually do this at home, you're gonna take and you're gonna pat it out. We don't wanna take that foundation swipe past our iris, because this is where we have texture. Unless you have hereditary darkness over here, we can always add, we can't take away, but we really wanna concentrate it into that inner corner, okay? And then we're gonna apply it on top of the lid. Get my mirror. And then the key to success is to add layers. Now, and the cool thing is that you have control of the pigment. So let's say you're a little bit bluer one day, you can add a little bit more pigment and concentrate it right onto that inner corner. So right there, I'll do it this way. Like so. And then patting it out. This is the large crease brush. Again, it is labeled for you so you know which one is which. And then patting it out. So you can see how much just that one has brightened. Or the other option is our salmon, which is now called salmon arm. So you're gonna take salmon arm and your all over blending brush. This one I find is much easier. Now, if it is yours, I am actually going to loosen the pigment with the back of my brush, okay? Going in with my all over blending. Okay, we're gonna start dry on the top of our lid. Now, not every skin tone can pull this off. Basically up to, I'm gonna say from an MM3, if you're an MM3 or lighter, you'd want to mix a little bit of your foundation into it. And then if you're an it depends on your 7 up, you're gonna wanna do the old school way because you want that pigment to be able to neutralize, where if this can be too light, it can go ashy. Anywhere in between, it is seriously so magical right there. So you can even see the difference that makes on me. Now, underneath, we're going to put a little bit of Gaia Gloss onto the back of our hand, like so. We're going to scrape some of that salmon with the back of our brush to loosen up that pigment. We're gonna take our finger and we're gonna dip into that pigment. We're gonna mix it into that Gaia to create a cream consistency. So the rule of thumb is we actually want more pigment than gloss. So it's like a concealer consistency. And then we're going to tap right onto that dark circle underneath the eye. Okay, starting right in there. You wanna start basically where the fingertip is pressing against the bridge of the nose, hugging onto the dark circle, and then out. Okay, so you can even see the major difference that made. I'm gonna go back over to balance myself out with salmon, dry on the top, because that works best for me. I'm gonna take this off. So on your mirror of your Raven case, there is a sheet. Take that off so you can use, there's a really beautiful mirror that's on here. So super fast, super easy. Now you'll notice that we are concentrating on our skin first during our pamper session. Method to the madness. When we're doing our pamper sessions, we're really focusing on your skin. When we're doing a professional application, or even when we do the makeup lessons, we're teaching you to do your eyes first. Because when you do your eyes first, it actually is gonna save you so much time. So when you see my other videos, you're gonna ask that, like, why are we in our pamper session? Are we doing our eyes first or not doing our eyes first? That's why, because we want to really feel the skin. You can see all that nourishment. Now, last step to the skin is we're going to set with the Blur setting powder. It has a lock sifter. It's 1 ingredient, ethically sourced cosmetic grade silica. There is no talc in MisMacK. So how you want to use it, lid open up to about 3 or 4 little holes open. You're gonna push some into the back of your lid. Again, less is more. Powder brush, push in. This is my trick. Push it into your palm until it doesn't poof anymore. That's gonna push the product into the brush, so when you pat, you're not gonna see a big poof of product. This is what sets the foundation, stays on all day, and blurs out texture. So it is a setting powder. We don't have setting sprays at MisMacK because we use our setting powder. Rule of thumb, anytime you use a cream, you need to use a powder to set it. So you notice I'm patting, no wiping or swiping. And then you should feel soft, where if you don't have it on, it's tacky, but it still has that glow from within. And if you had Katie or Jessica do your pamper session, you know how much they love this as a dry shampoo. So you would just load up your brush and push it into your roots. All right. So recapping of your skin is on your recipe card. Now we're just gonna do little eyes, cheeks, lips, and a little bit of brows, all in your face in the case. So depending on if you got the one and done bundle or if you have decided to purchase products as you go, either way, there's no pressure at MisMacK. We're all about sustainability, so whatever works best for you and your budget. So in the case though, you do have spots for 4. The ones that we use in the one and done is shade, which I'm going to use for contour or eyes. Then we have, depending on your under eye brightener, either salmon or radiant. Stone is our brows. It's also a great liner, a great eyeshadow, so great. And then you have one spot open depending on the two, whether you add alluring for blush. I'm actually going to use radiant as blush and my lip. So I'm going to show you how to utilize this. We're going to go in. Nope, we're going to do cheeks first. Pardon me. We're going to go in and we're going to do contour. So your contour brush is on that angle. You're going to pick up. Okay, you're gonna wipe and swipe on the back of your wrist, okay? Pure pigment, less is more. Recap where we start. Start at the top of your cheekbone, go down, feel the hollowness there, and you'll see how your bone goes straight across. That's your guide for your contour, okay? Don't do this, because then you're gonna droop the skin, you're gonna droop your whole face down. We don't want that. We wanna go underneath that bone. So tip onto the tragus, which is your little nub of the ear, hug under that bone, and you're gonna swipe forward. That's it, swiping forward. You don't wanna see a line, it just gives that really beautiful shading. Next, we're gonna take whatever's left over, tip to temple, and we're gonna pull back, okay? And then whatever's left over behind your ear, under the jaw, okay? Method to the madness, 1, 2, 3. Most pigment, least pigment, even less amount of pigment. So there's no line, okay? Now, you can't go in and just use bronzer as contour because bronzer is warm. We want it to recreate the natural shadow of your bone structure, which is why I called shade, which it's being renamed after BC small towns. So stay tuned for that. Okay, you're gonna pick up, 1 pickup per side, wipe off, tip on to the tragus, brush forward. Okay, you wanna think if you were to continue this, that actually would end between your nose and your lip. And back, and then under. Let's say if you forget to do this and you have a really intense concentration of pigment, take your blur and blur it out, okay? That is your eraser. Blush. We're gonna take the soft blending brush or the skunk brush. Again, I designed this with 2 layers so it picks up less pigment. Again, MisMacK is pure pigment, less is more, right? That is the difference between a professional performing line versus a consumer line, is the amount of pigment concentration that are in the products. Also how we hold up to light, heat, and sweat on film and all that fun jazz. So you're gonna take your brush. I'm gonna go into Radiant. Now, when you pick up, still wipe her off on the back of your wrist. You can always add, we can't take away. We're gonna smile, you're gonna stamp the apple of your cheek, you're gonna push back, think of the top of the brush ends at the top of the ear, okay? Pick up, swipe off, apple of cheek and back. Now, let's say again, you put too much on, take your blur, and blur it out, okay? You wanna think we're following that bone. So we don't wanna just do 1 swipe because then there's a gap. Think of it, the brush continues to the top of the ear. All right, let's get into eyes. We're gonna take that all over blending brush. I like to take that salmon off, so either on a paper towel or on a cloth. We're gonna go right into shade. We're gonna use the flat side of the brush. We're gonna pick up, we're gonna tap. Don't blow on your brushes, okay? Tap off. Starting in the center of the lid. Little presses out to that last lash, continuing into the inner corner, and then blending up behind the eyeball. So we're really following your own natural eyeball shape, okay? The moment we go out of the eyeball shape, it starts to droop the eye. So think of your last eyelash as your guide, okay? And you'll notice I'm pushing that into the skin. Now, as you can see, I do have creasy eyelids, and that's because I put Gaia Gloss on the top of my lid compared to just keeping it dry, and I didn't set it properly. So if that happens, go in with your blur and really blur it out. To set that, that is Jessica's trick, and yes, I'm gonna get her to do a video on that. So picking up, tapping off, starting in that center, Thinking the bottom of the brush is right at the lashes, out to the last lash, inward. So the lid's done. So you can see when I open up, this is up over my hood. This is not up over my hood. We're gonna take whatever's left over. We're gonna have that brush go up and down behind that eyeball. Okay, I'm not out here onto the bone. I'm hugging on that edge of the eyeball. And I'm gonna go back and forth in a windshield wiper motion, not a rainbow blend. Okay, again, I'm gonna balance it out. Make sure that both is the same. And you can do this with any color. You could do it with stone. You could do it with alluring, with radiant even, and then put shade into your crease. But this is just the basics of a really easy and simple eyeshadow look, okay? And making sure the density is the same. So I'm just gonna add another layer because my right one is a bit darker than my left. Now, next step, we're gonna take whatever is left over onto the edge. We're gonna dip the tip into the brush, or sorry, into shade. Press and pull down, starting at the outside edge of your lashes and continuing it in, okay? You can see up close it doesn't do much, but from a distance it opens up your eyes, and I know a lot of you have seen that transformation in the mirror. It opens up the eyes, but it doesn't look like you're wearing anything. Think of it as finishing the eye off, okay? First touch point's always gonna be the darkest. Start on that outside, press and pull down, continuing it in. And then the last step is some mascara. So we're gonna go in with our mascara now. Okay, my trick is you're gonna pull off the sticker all the way. What Jessica does is she actually will slice this with scissors, so it just depends. Don't twist it because you're gonna twist the glue. So make sure you either pull it off or slice it. Don't pump your mascara, okay? This is a rice bran wax base, completely natural formula. Now, natural formula is a bit different than traditional, what can happen is the air actually expands it as you start using the product, and it can come out really clumpy on the brush. This is perfectly normal. All you have to do is scrape it off, do your thing, push it back in. It will go normal the more that you use it. Now, we want to make sure that you have this education because we've had clients throw the product out thinking that it is bad or ask for refunds because it's clumpy. Please note that this is the way that our product works. We also can take that extra off and use it as a liner. I like to say finding a good mascara is like finding a good bra. Once you find one, it's really hard to change. But again, not every bra is for every person. So same with mascara. So you're gonna open up, we're gonna go to the base, and you're gonna wiggle. So it's all about the wiggle, starting at that base and wiggling up. I like my lashes to have a really good mascara look, so I'm gonna add a couple layers, and I'm gonna let that dry as I go into my other side and a wiggle up. So again, mascara is a perfectly optional, not for everyone, but for me, it's one of those products that I can't live without. If I had to choose one product in my makeup bag, it would be mascara. So to get a good layer now, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna wiggle, and I'm gonna keep wiggling this. I could do like 15 to 20 coats and then keep wiggling to get that lift. I used to be an avid lash curler too, which I've actually even pulled my lashes out when I was a teenager, which is why I don't have a curling tool in my professional kit. I'd rather put lashes on you. But this gives you that really beautiful lift. It is our #1 seller here at MisMacK. It's hard to find a good clean mascara that works. And then it doubles as a gel liner, which is brilliant in terms of time saving, adds value to the product where you don't have to purchase another product to do your liner. You just need a brush. Go scroll down our YouTube channel to find that video. Okay, and I'm gonna do light touches on the bottom, no wiggles, light touches. Okay, a little bit of brows and lips and we're done. Angled brush for brows. Going into stone. Stone is about 95% of the color that we use on most people. Jessica uses shade and she mixes it with depuff and prime. So if you do not have hairs on your brows, use your Depuff and Prime as your mixing gel because that's gonna create a transfer proof option and gel for you. If you have little hairs, go in with it dry. Wipe it on the back of your hand. This is key. We wanna remove all that pigment until nothing comes out. Starting in the center of your brow, not here, the outside. Little pushes out to your last lash and then connecting it down, okay? Brows have a weird way of clinging to pigment, okay? This is also why you don't want to start here because you'll have nowhere to go. Starting out here, blending out and down. Now, if you have an old mascara, clean your spoolie and lie it flat to dry, and then you'll have your own brow brush to spoolie out any extra product if you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot to do this, or I didn't do it enough, and that product is still pretty intense. I am very much a natural brow artist. For me, it's the frame, not the focus. For me, it's all about the eyes. Okay. And then the last step to your pamper session is Gaia Gloss, which I'm gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand. When it's yours, you would go right in. I'm gonna apply it to the lips. This is a multi-use product, so it is an amazing nighttime eye cream. You can use it around the orbital bone. We've had clients say that it has helped like puff up and nourish their skin. I use it as a nighttime lip mask, especially in the winter. I'll slather it on after I brush my teeth. You can mix it into your foundation too to create a really beautiful dewy effect and nourishing effect to the foundation. I love it during the winter. We have a lot of MisMackers that love it. The other cool thing, you can create a cream highlight, and then if you take the tiniest little bit of your blush color and apply it to your lips, you can create your own custom lip color. You can also depot it. So at MisMacK or at our premier retailers, we have little sample pots. Please ask for one because we're more than happy to pass the love on to you where you can create your own little custom lip gloss on the go at home. So thank you so much. That has been your Pamper Session Recap. I know it's a lot of information all at once, so please do not hesitate to book another one in and we can totally recap it. And once you get the hang of this, book another one in and let's have some fun. Let's play with colors because it's a lot of fun to learn how to utilize your MisMacK in so many different ways. So if you have not come into for a free pamper session, please go and head to our website at mismack.com or give us a call or visit our premier retailer in Maple Ridge. They would love to see you as well and get you booked in for a pamper session. So if you have any questions, you know where to find us. DM us or shoot us an email. Thank you so much for your love and support, and we can't wait to see you again. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.